This is your host, Rachel Pins. Welcome to Hemp is Hope, Not Dope series.
Wrong podcast.
Our purpose is to bring awareness.
Wrong podcast. Welcome, guys, to Unmasking the Blueprint. We have been retired for 6 months, but your girl is back, and we done brought y'all on that show when you have too many episodes. But guess what? It don't matter. We still finna come on here with this podcast today because, guys, I have some. I don't even know if I should even call them guests, guys. They are like co-hosts today. Do y'all understand? Like, this is a round table type experience. We're gonna bring y'all the tea about mindset. Mm-hmm. So please, if you want to know about mindset, please go get your pen and paper. Because I'm telling you, I don't care how smart you are, how educated you are. Guys, I have my pen and paper. Because you know what? Jade is about to say some stuff, and I'm going to take notes. Jennifer is about to say some stuff, and I'm about to take notes. I'm about to say some stuff, and you're going to need to take some notes. Do y'all understand the assignment? So go ahead and grab your pen and your paper. Give y'all a few minutes. Go ahead and share with the folks so we can get started. So let's introduce everybody again. So for those, it's been a minute. My name is Rachel Pins. I am a serial entrepreneur. I am an author, and I'm going to just introduce the rest, okay? We have the amazing Dr. Jennifer Gilbert. Give them a little bit of tea about who you are and what you got going on, girl.
Girl, I am a CEO of JGM Educational Consultants. We just opened our brick and mortar today. Praise the Jesus. I'm also the CEO of JGM Publishing Company. Of course, I sing, I write. I have a new book coming out in 9 days called Intentionally Healing. On purpose, in purpose, for purpose. Come on, somebody.
Yes, all the accolades. Let's go. I love it. Miss Jade Thomas, what do you have going on, lady? Introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. I am so glad to be back on here. My name is Jade Thomas. I am the founder of Jade Thomas LLC. And we work with nonprofits. We do the paperwork, your federal and state paperwork. We also do grant funding and strategic planning. I'm also the founder of nonprofit Becoming Kings and Queens. And our mission is that we provide leadership building opportunities through education, mentorship, and volunteer work. I'm so excited to be here, guys. We've got a youth empowerment session coming up at the end of March. So, woohoo!
Yes.
I love it. Get y'all pens and paper. Guys, we're talking about mindset today, okay? And the reason I want to start mindset at the beginning of the year, because we always be talking about new year, new me, new year, new body, new year, new money, new year, new, right? But guys, I'm going to be honest with you. If you don't get a new mindset, you can go and buy that body, but those same habits, not working out, not eating habits, that money gonna be a waste. You can win the lottery, and without that financial mindset, you know what's gonna happen? You're gonna be right back to the same. So we want to find out. So I want to have a question, Dr. Gilbert.
Yes,
okay,
ma'am.
I'm so you got Miss Jennifer. Okay, Dr. Gilbert. I have a question. When you hear mindset, like, what do you think about?
The first thing that pops in my
head, like what's like when people be like mindset?
Mindset. The first thing that pops in my head is the scripture that says, "Set your mind on the things which are above," and those things that so easily beset us. Let us set our minds above that. So you say mindset, but it's set your mind on whatever it is that you want to be your focal point for that particular reason, for that particular season. And understanding, giving yourself grace when you don't always get it right the first time. What you think?
That was really good.
Thank you.
I like that scripture. I immediately went to go look it up. Give me that scripture again.
Set your mind on the things which are above. Whatsoever things which are pure, and I'm paraphrasing, whatsoever things are holy, whatsoever things are righteous, those are the things that we need to set our mind on it. And when you say set your mind, that means hang your hat right there. So no matter what, I'm going to remember that I got to set my mind on that thing.
I love that. I love that. So I have a question. You went out on my end. Did she go out on your end?
No.
Oh, you know what? The devil's super busy. All right, Jade. Okay, when you think of mindset, what do you think about, Jade?
So mindset to me refers to a person's established set of attitudes, beliefs, perceptions, perspectives that shape the way they perceive and interpret and respond to the world around them. So essentially, it's the lens in which they view and approach situations, challenges, opportunities, and life in general. And so when I think of our mindset, it's you either have a negative mindset or a positive mindset. Those are the two biggest buckets, right? Either you have someone that can see everything as, oh, I was late to work. Oh my gosh, my car wouldn't start. Oh my gosh, I couldn't do this. But a positive mindset would say, maybe I needed to be late that day. I don't know what accident I missed on the road. If my car didn't start, you don't know what was coming in the way that I dodged. So the same actions take place, but your mindset changes how you accept them, how you take them in.
Oh my good. That was so good. I love that. And the reason why, guys, we set up a little bit different is because I see how Jennifer explained it one way. And then Jay came in and she explained it a different way. And some of y'all was like, oh, yeah, I got it when Jennifer explained it. But then when Jade explained it, you was like, oh, wait, now I get it when Jade explained it. That's the reason why I have two different people on the show. Because guess what, guys? We're going to give it to you today. We wanted to give it to you from every different aspect today. When Dr. Gilbert told you she wrote a book, I wrote a book too. Jade got a book in her. There's about 100,000 other books out there. But guess what? You're not going to get it the way Dr. Gilbert gave it to you. You're not going to understand the way I gave it to you. You're not going to understand the way Jade gave it to you. And so I love it, ladies. Oh my gosh. I hope y'all got it. Okay. So now this is my question, because Steve Harvey said, so when did you decide to change your mind? Before you answer it. So Steve Harvey said when he was sick of himself. So Steve Harvey said, he went from broke to divorce to broke to just living in a car. He was like, sick of myself. I'm sick of myself. And so sometimes, I know I didn't answer the question, but the question that I didn't answer was, what do I feel about when I hear mindset? A lot of times people are like, well, I'm set in my mind. This is who I am, and this is how I'm going to be. But guess what, guys? When we was born to learn. And to the day we die, we're meant to keep learning and evolving. And so with that being said, so Steve Harvey said when he got sick of himself, he was like, something's wrong. I need to change my mind. Change my mind. And not be so stuck in the, I'm going to keep doing the same thing, which is what they say is the insanity, right? And so mine is, I wrote a book called Take My Life Back. And I just got so tired of blaming other people. Well, if Jennifer wouldn't have did this, what did this? Well, if Jade wouldn't have did this, then I wouldn't have did this. And I just had the point finger. Like, I was just them, that person. And I was like, you know what? Let me put my big girl drawers on and get in the driver's seat and take my life back and take responsibility. And I just changed my mind about how I was going to respond. Because this is my mouth. So I have the choice to respond. These are my hands. I have the choice to lay hands or to put hands. Right. And so I have to take my life back.
You know, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, No, because you was actually. So I'm gonna do. Well, go ahead. You go.
So I was thinking. It reminds me again of a scripture when Paul said, and I want to say, Jesus, I think it's Romans 7. 19 through 25. I'm not going to say the whole thing, but it basically talks about that inner turmoil. It says, when I want to do good, I don't. And when I try not to do wrong, I do it anyway. It's the Living Bible. Okay. Now, if I am doing what I don't want to do, it is plain where the trouble is. Sin still has me in its evil grasp. It seems to be a fact. This is why I love some of y'all gonna do the King James version. However, for special people like me, we need that basic version, to give me that other stuff so I don't be spitting on myself. But basically, and I'm not going to read the whole thing. You can read it on your own time. Romans 7, 19 through 25. And it basically talks about when I'm trying to change my mindset. Every time I try to do good, evil is always present. If you're going to change your mindset, you have to first understand that everybody don't want to see your mindset on those things which are above. Mm-hmm. Some people like you right where you are. They like you in that broken phase. They like you when you sitting there having your pity party. They like eating cheese and crackers with you while you crying over Boo Boo the Fool. They like that. And it's something that I talk about in my book. It's called trauma bonding. Oh. How many of us have bonded with people over our trauma? Yeah. And then watch this, when you decide and you make up in your mind, here we go again, when I want to do good, I made up in my mind. Now those who I bonded with, my friends, my homies that I thought we was down like 4 flats, they're gone. Why? Because they no longer can identify with the change in my mindset.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's good. And it's true. That's true. So now, Dr. Gilbert.
Yes, ma'am.
So when or what was that trigger when you was like, I need to change my mind?
When, you know what, it's an easy answer, but it's not. The Lord moved me last year. He told me to I just did a whole overhaul on my life, if you would. He sent me to a city that I knew nobody and nobody knew me. Had me purchase a house on the lake. And I'm sitting here and I am the minority. There's no one that looks like me on my street. Mm-hmm. So I still found myself frustrated and irritated. And I didn't understand why, because there was nobody here for me to be frustrated and irritated with. And that's when I realized in and of myself, I got to reconcile with myself. Oh, because watch this, there was a time, and you know this, Rachel, there was a time and there was a season where I was always helping everybody else and doing for everybody else. And God had to sit me down and tell me, girl, you ain't doing nothing but running away from your own trauma. You're running away from your own issues. So if we had to give them a first step, it would be to sit down and shut up and hear what God has to say. Oh, reconcile with yourself. We're quick to reconcile the checkbook because we don't want to be overdrafted in our finances. But when is the last time you sat down and reconciled the checkbook of your emotional balance, of your psychological balance, of your mental balance, to say, yeah, I'm okay, or guess what? No, I'm not. And that's when I knew that I had to change my mindset, because it was nobody's fault. I couldn't be mad at if the toilet seat was up, that's because I just cleaned the bathroom and I forgot to put it down.
But what you know, it's them. It's them.
Yeah. There's nobody else to blame. And I had never been. I'm about to be 49 in 9 days when my book come out, shameless plug. But anyway, and this is book number 40. But here is the thing, is that it took me all of these years for me to realize that the problem is with me. And so before, I would just take and put, a little Band-Aid on my wound. But now I got to be intentional about this thing. Let me lift this Band-Aid up. Let me open it up and let me pull out all the pus called my past. The pus of my past. Let me get that out of there. Let me get off, because at the end of the day, I found infection. Yeah. That's good. Okay, I quit.
That's good.
That was really good. That was really good.
That's good. And people, that's good.
Yeah.
All right, Miss Jade. When did you say I changed my mind?
Well, first, I want to give Dr. Gilbert credit because I'm about to put plus of my past of my mirror, just as a reminder. So I'm going to
Praise
borrow
God.
that line
Thank
from
you,
you. I
Jesus.
want you to know. And I'm looking for your book to come out because that was really good. That was really good. I have a 5-year-old son, and me seeing a mini me made me have to sit down. And if it was, and so I've had to change my mindset as far as family and personal, and then as far as business. So family and personal, our parents do the best they can, but we got some trauma from back there. And me holding on to things was a really big part of my life. I can't because they didn't haven't apologized, and they haven't come to terms, and we ain't made peace with it. And I got a 5-year-old, got a 5-year-old boy. And if he is not my mini, and the idea of him continuing that trauma when they're so innocent that they don't even know where it comes from. I just act like this because my mama act like this.
Yes.
They have no idea why mom acts this way. They just know she does, and because mom does it, I'm gonna do it. And without me addressing it, that this now becomes pattern, it becomes behavior, and now this is learned behavior. And then one day I have a 6-year-old black male with these same characteristics. So over time, I had to say, I need a new mindset. I have to let go of the past. I have to. You'll see a lot of TikToks where people have the conversation with their mom. Old child having a conversation with the mother saying, I have already forgiven you. And I don't need you to say I'm sorry, because I've already forgiven you and I've already released it. And oh my God, that felt so good. And so you have that kind of cathartic moment where you come through and come out of it and say, okay, well, we're going to operate differently. It doesn't mean putting myself in situations where my feelings are hurt, but you operate with boundaries. We're going to operate as adults.
That's so good.
And then the second mindset change was my career. And that was when I wanted to leave corporate America. We had to change that mindset. We had to change that mindset.
That'll do it.
A couple of months. When you become the lender and not the borrower, you got to change some mindsets. Your budget work different. Your household work different. The way you look at time is different. It was a mindset change, and it was overcoming. I can't do it. A lot of my negativity. I have a lot of negative voices, and I've had that coming to Jesus conversation with myself. But the I can't do it voice in my head is very, very loud, and I can only defeat it through action. So while I'm constantly pushing myself toward my goals, while the loudest voice is saying, you're going to fail, you can't do it. And then I do it. And I'd be like, boy, shut up.
I love it. That is good.
Yeah.
That is so good. Guys, I hope that y'all are getting something from this. And if you are, I hope that you share it. Because I want you to understand that once you get past your mindset, I don't care if you're 18, I don't care if you're 20s, I don't care if you're 70 years old. If it's something that you're stuck, you're only stuck because of your mindset. And if you listen to anything that we're telling you today, it's not them. It's not the job. It's not the government. It's not the traffic. It's so hard for us to get it.
Yeah.
And Steve Harvey said it. I'm sick of me. Steve Harvey said, when I finally said it, I'm sick of me.
Yeah. And
when he finally said it.
It's funny, in my book, I have a chapter called The Sick of Me Season.
Whoa.
And it talks about that season when I got sick of me being sick of everybody else. And I had to turn and look in that mirror and become sick of me. I'm sick of me being mad at my mama and she dead and gone. I'm sick of me being mad at my daddy when I know doggone good and well everything I got to say, it ain't gonna change his mind. I'm sick of me getting mad at my kid's father because he owed me $34,987.22 in child support. I'm sick of me feeling like the world owes me. So I'm sick of me. And until we get to that sick of me season, guess what? We're going to keep going in that cycle. And we're going to keep on. It's another chapter that I wrote. It's called Where You Have to Name Your Pit. Name your pit. We all fall into pitfalls, right? That's what it is. It's a pit for you to fall in. But the problem is that many of us never come to recognize the pit to the point where you name it. Because if you realize, and I'm going to go Bible again, if you realize that when Jesus went to go heal the people, he asked them, you tell me what's wrong with you.
Yeah.
Right? You tell me, the man that was laying at the pool of Bethesda, Jesus already knew, but he went, why you still here? Well, I'm here because they, every time they trouble the water, then don't nobody want to come help me get in the water. And then, do you want to be healed? Which means, are you in your sick of me season? Are you sick of making excuses because this person and that person, everybody around here is sick? But you got to make up in your mind that you're so sick that you're ready to you're ready to take action. You're ready to do something different. And so that was one of the things that I want to challenge readers to do is name your pit. I had a pit of depression. I had a pit of rejection. I had a pit of abandonment. I had a pit of the, oh, woe is me syndrome. Those are my pits. And watch this. Now that I can name it, now I can call it for what it is. Oh, abandonment, you won't have me today. Now tomorrow maybe so, but today you're not finna have me abandonment. Rejection, you're not finna have me today. Loneliness, you're not finna have me today. Promiscuity, you're not finna have me today. I command these hormones to come in line. Right? When you start to talk about your pit, talk to your pit. Jesus didn't talk around it, he talked to it. When he told that spirit to come out the pig or come from over here and go in the pig, he called it out. Call it what it is. And when it got so bad, do you remember the story where he said the demon said, "We are legions." We're legions. That means it's a whole bunch of us. Which means that my sorrow sandwich has now got together and reproduced.
Girl, together.
And made offspring. And then my offspring have made offspring. And then the offspring have made the offspring. So now we're a legion. And it's so many of them because I never gave you a name. I don't know what to call you. So I just call you Legion. And guess what? It does not make it any less effective because you still got to come out. Because I called you by name Legion. That means all of y'all.
Say it again.
Legion. That means all y'all. Everybody up in here. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here. Legion. And we got to give ourselves grace. So two things. This is my second point. Number one is I want you to sit down and I want you to turn the mirror to yourself. Mm-hmm. Get into the place of where you have a sick of me season. And then you start to name your pits. Mm-hmm. That's where you are. And if I could say one thing to Jada, the Holy Ghost dropped something in my spirit when you were talking. And I remember one of the things that made me click. My children are 30 and 32. And, like you say, we reproduce like us, right? Mm-hmm. Now, I always been there. I always been mama. I never knew I had a choice from the age of 16 when I had the first one, 18 had the second one. I've always been mama. I've always been there. But these crazy people that I reproduce emailed me one night in the middle of the night and was trying to tell me all of the things that I did wrong as a mother at 16 and 18 when I done already experienced trauma and don't know what in the world I'm doing anyway. Right?
And did the best I can.
Did the best I could, girl. And I found myself, watch this, immediately I went into, this was before I got sick of me, because this led to my sick of me, right? So I immediately emailed them back, and I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it. I did the best I could. And I sent the email, and I couldn't go back to sleep, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I heard myself talking to my father, watch this generational curse, telling him of all the things that he didn't do when he did the best that he could with what he had. He didn't know nothing about Jesus. He didn't know nothing about the anointing. All he knew was to go to church on Sunday, because that's where you go and you eat. Watch this. You eat physical food, the fried chicken and the macaroni and cheese. That's all he knew about Jesus. And so I sat there, and I immediately, my spirit got mad. And I said, you know what, Devin, I'm not finna apologize. I'm not gonna apologize. Because like I told them, parenting does not come with a manual. Right? And the analogy that I always use is like it's like baking a cake, a homemade cake, not no Betty Crocker, right? You put a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit, and then you put them in this thing called this oven that's called life. And you just hope that they come out tasting good. I birthed some rice cakes. They ain't had no sugar in them. My daughter, she just ain't got no sweetness. She just a rice cake, okay? Crunchy, okay? And then I got my son, who I put too much butter into. He just so soft. And I be like, son, but that was me making my cake. I didn't know that I had to measure it. That's why he said, I'll get good measure, pressed down, shaken together. It can't be pressed down if you never measured it. It can't be running over if you don't have a cup that you use to measure your suffering. So my question is, for everybody, are you tired of suffering yet? Are you sick of you yet? I got sick of me. That's all. I'm sorry.
That was good, guys. And it's true. When you just get tired, when you say it's a new year and it's a new me, and you said that in 2020, and you said that in 1990, and now 1987, and that's why I started our very first podcast with mindset, because real life, guys, if you go back and you watch this and you go back and you take notes, we're real live people who decided that we were sick of us.
Yeah.
And we honestly just changed our mind and decided that we actually, and I'm going to talk, and the reason why I have 3 different people on here from 3 different angles, because I don't want to talk like Dr. Gilbert. I don't want to talk like Miss Thomas, because some people going to only understand it how I have to take my life back. You know, I got in a closet and I went to God. Here I am, God, arms wide open. And he woke me up 3 or 4 o'clock every morning. And I didn't even know I was writing a book. I was just writing. And he told me that throw what you wrote away. And I want you to make it into a workbook now. And I was like, what? Wait, hold up. I didn't get up every morning to write this. Oh, he said, no. What you wrote was for you to heal. They don't need to know about, you don't have to write about you being molested. You can talk about it to help somebody else heal. But you don't have to have a book about being molested. You don't have to talk about how you couldn't breathe and how you held your breath and how you were scared. No. You don't have to write that in a book. That's not what they need to read. You know what they need to read? They need to read that he can be dead and they can still heal. Somebody cannot tell them they're sorry.
That's right.
And they can still heal. Somebody cannot be sorry and you can still heal. See, that's the story that I had to write. See, I had to take my life back. So when I say take my life back, that's for people who had to get it from the mud. See, we're taking our life back. We're taking our life back for people who not sorry.
Right.
We're taking our life back for people who don't care about us. We're taking our life back for all the stabs in our back, for people who had our hell down, who was mean to me, who mistreated me. I'm taking my life back. That's what that book is for.
Yeah.
And all people are like, I don't get it. I'm not taking my life back. It's not for you. But for those people who understand the assignment, we're taking our life back. Because guess what? Every time that I gotta fight, I have to realize I don't have to fight. Because I don't have to be an angry little girl anymore. I can be a beautiful flower. I don't have to fight the whole world because the whole world didn't stump me down. You know?
Yeah.
And because of what happened to me so early, I was just fighting. And finally I had to go, I'm taking my life back. I'm taking my life back. Even if nobody's sorry that they hurt me. Even if nobody cares. Even if nobody, it doesn't, I'm taking my life back. And there's people who understand that journey.
Yeah.
But there's some people that don't understand that. And taking their life back is too harsh. And it's too much. And it's okay. Because Dr. Gilbert, she wrote a book. And her book is going to help you. And when you listen to this, she got a Dr. Thomas. I already claimed it, girl. Go ahead and get your degree, Dr. Thomas. And with her baby story, you're going to listen to what she's telling you about how she changed for her baby who's looking at her. And you're going to get your pen and paper. And you're going to be sick of you. And you're going to change your mind.
Yeah.
And that's the reason I'm asking the blueprint. From today on, I'm going to have more than one guest. Because I can't resonate with everybody. And Dr. Gilbert can't resonate with everybody. And Miss Thomas can't resonate with everybody. But guess what? We're going to resonate with you. Because you know what we're doing? We're getting God's people. We're taking over right now.
Right.
And how do we do that? We're going to change your mind. Now, all right, Dr. Gilbert, what we need to do right now is we need to give them something that they can do when they get off of here, that they can do today, that can make a difference in their life today.
Right. You want me to go? Want me to say first? Okay. So the first thing that I would do is literally sit down in a quiet place by yourself. No distractions. A lot of people say, I went in my closet. Do you literally have to go in a closet? No, but you can take your mind into an enclosed space where nothing else distracts you. And I want you to begin to think about every time that you go low, or every time that you feel away, or any time that somebody said, what are those words that somebody says to you that trigger you? What are the things that if somebody does it, it just, that doesn't set me off. It's over for the day. I'm about to let him. What are those things? And I want you to start listing them. And I want you to start naming those things. Whatever. If you don't worry about spelling it right. Don't worry about if you can read. Don't just write it. The Bible says, write the vision. Come on, Rochelle. Make it plain that what? Men may see it. Watch this. You're the man that you may see it and say, this is where I need to be healed. This is where my issue is. This, I recognize you now. If you think about the story with the little boy that was having seizures, and his father took him to Jesus. Why did his father take him? Because he was not yet at the age of accountability. And his daddy kept saying, and I'm paraphrasing, he told Jesus, he said, he keep having these seizures. And I don't know why he keep having these seizures. That every time I turn around, the devil comes in him and he has these seizures and it causes him to convulse. And watch this. Jesus, I thought this was so interesting. And this is in my book as well. It says, the man said, Jesus said, do you believe? Do you have faith? And he said, I believe. Watch this. He said, I believe, but help my unbelief.
That's good.
I believe, but help my unbelief. So now I have a dichotomous mindset. I want to believe. I want to know. I want to know. But in the back of my mind, it didn't always happen. Now watch this. This is what really got me excited. Was when Jesus touched the little boy, and the little boy was healed. Watch this. But then the little boy fell out and had another seizure. And the Bible says it seized him to the point that it looked like he died. Come on, somebody. It looked like he died. And then the people was like, oh man, Jesus done killed him. Right? And then Jesus reached down, picks up the little boy. The little boy gets up, never had a seizure again. What does that mean? That means that your trauma bonding experiences have to die in that place. Your trauma bonding relationships have to die in that place. And just when they think you dead, just when they think there's no hope, just when they think you can't get past it, just when they think you can't start that business, just when they think that you don't have nothing good to say, what does Jesus do? He lifts you up, picks you up, and you good as gold. And you walk, and watch this, you never visit that place. Now, I might find a new pit. I might find a new issue, but I won't be in that place.
That one no more. That was good.
I might have been depressed over this that time, but I won't be depressed over that. If I get depressed, it won't be over that no more. If I get pissed off, I might get pissed, and I'm gonna get pissed off. I'm gonna want to lay hands, and I'm gonna want to fight, but it ain't gonna be over that thing no more. Not no more. Why? Because I labeled that pit. I labeled that issue. I recognized that issue. I made it a point. Watch this. I was intentional. How many of us say, oh, I'm going to do better next year. I'm going to save my money. I'm going to fix my credit. You fix your credit, and because your mindset didn't change, now you got a higher score. You feel like you can go and get a better car. What's wrong with the Nissan that you're driving? That's paid for. But because your money say that you can, and you let the people tell you that you can. Now here you go, living beyond your means, and what? You're back in that pit again. But now the pit is bigger than it was before. Why? Because you didn't learn your lesson the first time. So that would be what I say. I would say, name your pit. Name that trigger. Name that thing that says, you know what? You won't get me again. Like I tell my kid's father, you won't get me again.
No place.
I told y'all. So before Jade go, I told y'all better be here every Tuesday. Because I told y'all I'm going to have guests over here, and we're going to get your pen and your paper, because you're going to leave here with some things to do to leave different. Go ahead, Jade.
Yeah.
Baby, it was so good. I know, Jade. I'm sorry.
See, she said Jade. I'm thinking she said Jade. My bad. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jade. Go ahead.
You're fine. I feel like I'm watching her podcast. Now I gotta go find her. So the first thing I want to say is nothing is by coincidence. I have been telling my family and friends that my word for 2024 is intentional. So every time I'm looking at her tagline, saying author of intentional healing, that's all that keeps running through my head is intentional. I want to be intentional with my finances, with my decisions, with my actions, with my words. And then 2, I want to tell all the followers, y'all need to do Steve Harvey's 300 list.
Oh, you better tell them.
You talk about changing your mindset. Steve Harvey said he sat down, and after he was sleeping in his car and homeless and everything, and he wanted to change his mindset, he sat down and wrote a list of the 300 things he wanted to ask God for. And he said around 75, it's going to get hard, right? Because you're asking for all the things you think you're supposed to ask for. But to make it to 300, you're eventually going to get materialistic, and that's okay. What color car do you want? What kind of house do you want? What do you want? And so I did this last year, and I shared it with Rachel. And
baby, it's the tea.
Yeah.
And so just now finishing up the 300 list for this year, you know, and I still have the list from last year. And in the beginning, I would read it every day. I would sit down and I would read the whole 300 every day. And when I say stuff, opportunities started coming out of the woodwork. It was incredible. And I tie that into mindset because I was asking for things that I would never thought I could do. When I wrote that list of 300 to God, I stopped limiting myself by what I thought I was capable of. And so that helped me get out and break out of my current mindset. I was asking for stuff that I thought only God, it was possible for God to do. I can't do it. I haven't done it. It hasn't worked, but it's on my list. I'm still gonna write it down.
Right.
Because God, I think it's possible for you to do it. And 6 months later, when it came to fruition, I said, okay, well, there's something to this list. There's something to this writing the vision and making it plain. That's probably my favorite verse out of the whole Bible. But some other things that we can do to change our mindset is, like Dr. Gilbert saying, is that self-reflection. Without self-reflecting, we do a lot. And it's natural, right? Because we have natural defenses. My mind doesn't want me upset. My mind doesn't want me depressed. So I'm blocking out stuff constantly, right? So it's self-reflection when you sit down and you open the barriers to allow yourself to feel those emotions that you've been blocking out for so long. I go all day. I'm happy. I'm good. Now let me go sit in that closet. I need to cry for the first 10 minutes. I'm going to stop crying and then we're going to carry on. But it's because I've been blocking those things out. Can't nothing hurt me. I got to get up at 6 a.m. This baby got to eat. He got to get to school. I got to get to work. I don't have time to be sad. Something else I did to change my mindset was to write clear goals. People don't like to write anymore. We have moved so far. And it's so weird when I look at us in cursive. Now, not only do these kids not write, but they can't read cursive. Now we got text messages in shorthand. I can't read my sister's text messages. I'd be like, there are not enough vowels in these words. I don't know what you're trying to say. If you can't text me the whole word, you probably just need to pick up the phone and call me. But when you're trying to change your mindset, putting it on paper is the physical action that changes that mindset. All of us have negative voices. We are all battling negative voices. I don't care how small it is. It may be a whisper. It may be loud and shouting. Mine is loud and shouting at me all the time. And when I am tired of the negative voice or I'm ready to defeat it, I pull out a blank sheet of paper and I start writing. And I write down what my goal is, and I write down what my steps are, and I write down what my deadlines are, and I write down what challenges I'm going to have along the way, whether they be financial, whether they be time-based. I once had to sit down and line out my day from 6 a.m. in 15-minute increments because I wanted to take on a new project, but I couldn't find the time. I was like, I don't know how. And so I sat down with a pen and paper and made sure that I gave my son enough time. Do I give self-care enough time? Have I given my family and my friends enough time? Okay, now with the time left over, can I take on this project? And that's defeating the mindset of, well, you can't do it. You can't do it. Well, if the time says you can't do it, you didn't just give up. You explained, you justified, there was a reason. And that's different than the negative voice shouting, you can't do it, right? And so all of that goes into developing a plan. We want to change our mindset, but to be intentional about it, you have to have a plan. If you're getting up saying 2024, new year, new me, without a plan, it's not going to last more than 3 days. And 3 days is being kind of, that's being generous. And you're not going to stick to it. And now you've got the negative voice of you not accomplishing what you said you were going to do. So now you've got an additional negative voice saying, I knew you wasn't going to stick to that diet. I knew you wasn't going to lose that weight. I knew you wasn't going to go work out. But it's because how we set ourselves up is how we carry through, right? If I start the year with a plan, now by June, ask me what my plan is by June. We're going to revisit that later. We'll talk about that later. But in January, for the first of the year, but what we don't realize is you will get small wins to where when June gets here, you're more motivated. You're not defeated because we recognize small. And that's another one on my list is recognizing small wins. We don't appreciate small wins enough. I be telling my friends, girl, I got up on time today. Woo! They're like, aren't you supposed to do that every day? I'd be like, but I did it. But I did it today. And we happy for it today. And we gonna celebrate this win today.
Yes.
We don't celebrate. We're and I don't know if I attribute that to social media. We look at everyone with these amazing lives, right? With this awesome house, this awesome marriage, this awesome everything. They in Italy on boats, you know, with the guy rowing their these awesome vacations. But when we get these small victories, you gotta cheer yourself on. You gotta be your own cheerleader. You're not, because that mindset, it's your mind. So no one out here is going to understand. No one out here is gonna relate. No one out here is gonna understand your struggle. I struggle with getting up on time. I'm like, it's hard. It's hard. That bed be so comfortable, and now it's cold outside. So you be bundled up just right,
Nice and warm.
And then 6 a.m. come and the alarm go off, and you be looking like, no, 6 a.m. We not gonna. We just not gonna do that.
30 more minutes. 30 more minutes.
That's all I want. Just 30 more minutes.
Yeah.
When you look up again, it is 7:45. You are officially late, and now I'm running and screaming. We did well. Today wasn't a personal win, but that's okay. That's okay. Changing the mindset is also about accepting our challenges, right? I'm not going to get it every day, but getting it more days than not is all you're looking for. We're looking for progress and not perfection.
That's good. That's good.
And then accountability, mindset change. Find an accountability partner all the way, all day, every day. If I can find one friend that'll call and say, "Did you do your 30-minute workout?" No. Well, you better get up and do it. You need it. You need it. We are not an island. We're not here to be alone. We're not made to be alone. We're not made. And if you're trying to accomplish something, the worst thing you can do almost is to do it by yourself. We have to have like-minded people around us.
Wow.
Guys, I hope y'all had y'all pen and paper. Because, baby, they gave y'all the tea, hunty. They gave y'all the whole tea. January the 14th, I'm going to drop it somewhere. Wherever you're watching this, it'll be in the links. Y'all know I am 100% down for accountability, and I do monthly vision boards meetups. Okay? This meetup, I got it written down. We're doing budgeting, why you should budget, how you should budget it. I'm going to show you what budget app to get. The budget app is free. I'm going to show you how to pull your credit on this. Usually it's only an hour. This time it's an hour and I think 15 to 20 minutes. Why? Because we're doing all of this on the 14th. Put the kids to sleep. Get in a quiet position. We're not playing. Like she said, intentional. I'm not playing in January. I didn't come to play. Okay. We're getting the app. I'm gonna show you. We're gonna pull out credit. I'm gonna show you the app that you can watch your credit, and then we're gonna the 300 list. Baby, the 300 list is live. Like I'm gonna tell y'all something petty. I put blank. Everybody know I'm always cold. I actually have this disorder where my hands turn blue. I think it's called like Ryan's disease or something, right? I'm always cold. So I put on my thing blanket. I wrote blankets on my list. It's like petty, right? My son. Oh, y'all know I don't lie. I have seizures. People with seizures, we don't lie, we forget.
Say it.
We just forget. So heck, I know I forgot to lie. So, son bought me blanket. My husband bought me a Snuggie. He bought me the one that vibrate on my feet. And I think, like, I blankets. Put that on. Okay, they're like, so right, this up on my list. The other day, my girlfriend went out. I didn't even know you can send people stock. Stock on Amazon, but I don't know when you go up. I just look at the stock to see if it's up or down. Look, now you can give people stock. Somebody give me stock. I'm like, really? Y'all know that's a win. But on my thing, I'm like, people gonna give me stuff just because. That's not. Y'all better quit playing with your girl. So anyway, let's say keep on flowing. So that 300 list, guys, is not no joke. When I tell you I'm already at 300 and I'm at 300 like 40. Really? I'm playing no games. But let me keep going. Let me say one more thing. So everybody know I'm looking for some land, right? Girl, can hit me up tonight. Hey, I bought you some land for this amount. The other day I was like, bet. Right? Let that go. All right. So after the 300 list, we're going to talk about our vision boards very shortly, because we just did vision boards last week. But for those anybody who's new, we're just going to kind of go over it to see where everybody's at, and then we're going to get off the call. This is the first year I'm charging y'all 99 cents. I've never charged to do vision boards before, but I find myself getting on the call and nobody's on there. That's a waste of my time. My time is my money. So two things going to happen. People not going to show up because I'm charging 99 cents. That's not a loss to me, because I'm still going to win. Are people going to pay the 99 cents? And then they're going to win. So either way it goes, it's going to be a win-win. But I'm going to drop the calendar below. So that's what I'm giving y'all for this call so we can move forward. What Dr. Gilbert told you is 100% correct. I'm telling you, when I went into my prayer closet and I sat down with my sickle myself and I wrote down all the things that was bothering me, all the trigger things in my life, that's when I changed. What Jade, everything, I didn't write it down. Everything Jade said was correct. That accountability. It's not one thing that these ladies said that ain't the truth. So this is what I like for you to do. I would like for y'all to go and like and share this. And I would love for y'all to comment and tell us what was your biggest takeaway from this. So for those people who like to scan through stuff and not read and watch the whole hour, they can just get the takeaway from y'all comments. So they can still be blessed too. But ladies, this was great. And y'all, just so y'all know, that these ladies gonna be back for some more tea. Okay? So is there anything y'all want to tell them before we head out?
Go ahead.
Go
ahead, Miss Jenna, Dr. Gilbert.
I would just say, just stay tuned. Stay tuned. And a lot of people, when you say that, they think about television. But when I say stay tuned, I mean stay in tune with what God is saying to you for this season. Because oftentimes what we do is we're so busy watching when we're staying tuned. We're tuning into the wrong things. We're tuning into the wrong places. And the last thing that I want to say is this, and it's another chapter in my book. It says, don't expect them to understand what they haven't experienced. So if you're encountering people who have never been in the sycamore season, and you're encountering people who have never desired to have a mindset, don't expect them to understand. Don't even waste your time trying to explain it, because they got to get there. Just like you had to get there. They got to get there too. So save yourself the frustration. Stay tuned to what God has for you.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
That's awesome. I don't have nothing to follow that up. I'm going to just say thank you. This was so awesome. You inviting me here this evening. And then I am so happy to meet Dr. Gilbert. I'm going to be looking for this book. But y'all stay tuned. I appreciate it.
Y'all stay tuned.
Thank you for tuning in today. It would mean the world to me if you will leave a review, a rating, and subscribe to my show. Please share with your family and friends if you enjoyed the show. This show, Unmasking the Blueprint, is for you. So send me a message with the topics you want us to discuss. Until next time, Y'all stay safe.